We're talking to Maggie Cimaroli, nutrition educator at the St. Louis Dairy Council. June is Dairy Month. This is your favorite, ain't it, Maggie?
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's all things dairy.
Yes.
All right, so how long have we had Dairy Month? Is this like something we just made up so we could push dairy on everyone?
So this has been around for about 88 years,
Okay.
and so it's been around for a little bit, 1937, and it is a promotional month, so we do want to talk about dairy, but it's really a great time to just kind of thank our dairy farmers. That's kind of what Dairy Month started as, was a time to celebrate the dairy farmers, and of course, you know, they work hard every single day, not just in June, but it's really just, like I said, a great time to kind of say thank you to the dairy farmers, really celebrate those dairy foods, and remind listeners, you know, we're halfway through the year now, we're in June, and remind listeners about 3 servings of dairy every day and just how great dairy foods are for their health.
Yeah, because, I mean, milk, it started all about milk, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and I mean, dairy is so much more than milk, but when it first started out, people didn't even think about cheese or cottage cheese or yogurt or stuff. They just, you know, the milkman dropped off milk, and then mom made what she needed out of the milk, basically.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, I mean, milk is, well, and with those other dairy foods, milk is your main ingredient. I mean, that is what your other dairy foods are made out of. And so, you know, talking about that milk and all of its great, you know, benefits that it has, I mean, that is kind of a really big thing. It's a really big staple food, I think, in a lot of people's homes. Also, like you mentioned, you know, that's kind of what you have. That's what you would make your recipes out of. You know, your baked goods, anything like that. Everything used milk.
Yep, everything. All right, so, you know, you and I have talked a million times. So how should we be celebrating Dairy Month? Because, I mean, I ate so much cheese yesterday, I'm going to feel it for a week. But, I mean, there are ways we can celebrate Dairy Month by making new recipes or something that's a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah, definitely. So there are a lot of different things you can do. You know, if you're focusing on, you know, like you mentioned cheese, so of course you can have cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese. Next month is ice cream month, so I would say hold your ice cream cravings until next month, but then enjoy all your ice cream. But milk is kind of, I'm going to say, your number one. So there's a lot of different ways you can enjoy milk. There's a lot of different types of milk, and like you said, we talk all the time. We talk about this all the time, but you know, maybe if you want something different than just a glass of milk or a different recipe, you can try adding different flavors into your milk, you know, making your own flavored milk, strawberry, chocolate, or whatever flavors you like. You can also do a lot of different drinks with milk. You know, if you're a coffee drinker, you can add milk to your coffee or even add chocolate milk to your coffee. It adds just a little bit of a different flavor. You can do honey or cinnamon, you know, kind of spice it up, add some different seasonings or spices in there. But then you can also do some different recipes, like you mentioned. You can bake with it. So if you like to bake goods, you know, cakes, muffins, even breakfast time. You know, we're in the summer months now, and kids are home from school, and so you might be cooking breakfast at home more often, making pancakes or making waffles. You can use milk for some of those different recipes. You can also do things like pudding. I love pudding. I don't. Do you like pudding, Fawn?
I love pudding. I like butterscotch and vanilla. I do.
Yes. So,
and you forgot to say put caramel in your milk. You forgot that one.
So that's another flavor. So exactly, you can. I mean, there are so many things, and even like butterscotch, you could add butterscotch to your milk. So there's a lot of different things you can do. But yeah, and pudding's a great one. And pudding, what I like about pudding is if you are getting close to, you know, maybe the end of your milk container, maybe you don't know how to use the rest of your milk. Pudding is something great that you can do. It uses a lot of milk in the recipe if you're making homemade recipe, or even if you're just making a box pudding, it still uses a lot of milk, and it'll use up the rest of that milk maybe if you don't think you can drink it before that expiration date.
Yeah. You know, It seems to me that I buy milk that has a long expiration date, and by the time I go to use it, it's already expired. Because the only thing I use milk for is the kid to eat cereal, or for when I make fluffy, eggs or something. But I
Right.
want to before we run out of time, I want to get to your recipe because you always have great recipes, and it's my favorite part of the interview because I know the stuff about dairy. I love to help spread the word, but you have such good recipes.
Yes, yeah. This month I really like and you can find all of our recipes on our website. But this month is a strawberry milk Italian soda, and I don't know if you've ever had an Italian soda, but it is. I think they're really great, and it's really fresh. It's really refreshing, especially in the summer months. So this one is you use 1 cup of milk, strawberry syrup, sparkling water, and you can use like flavored sparkling water if you want to add like strawberry or black cherry or some other kind of flavor in there, and then ice. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to mix your milk and your strawberry, kind of make like a strawberry milk, put your ice in there, and then you're going to top it off with that sparkling water to kind of add that little bit of fizz. You can add some whipped cream on top if you want, or some garnishes, but it's just kind of a different, refreshing way to enjoy a glass of milk, or like you said, try something new this month.
Yeah, and you know what? If you buy these things and you make them yourself, you can have 20 of them for the cost of what you'd have paid for 2 at a store. So
Yes.
make it yourself. It's good stuff. So where do people go to learn all about Dairy Month, which includes ice cream, yogurt, cheese, and all those wonderful things? Where do they go to learn more about this recipe and other ways to use dairy?
Yeah, so our website is a great place to start. So that is stldairycouncil.org. And we have, like you said, this recipes on there, nutrition education. Everything we talked about today about Dairy Month is on there, so definitely check out our website. Or you can go to our Facebook and our Instagram, which is at STL Dairy Council, and you can kind of see what we're doing out and about. You'll get some nutrition education on there. This recipe will be on there as well, so you can find all of this information on our social media accounts also.
Yeah, and social media's everywhere, so check it out. Maggie Cimaroli, nutrition educator, St. Louis Dairy Council. June is Dairy Month. Take advantage. Get some dairy in your body. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Fawn. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Happy June.